The food scene is incredible here.
We are considered the most diverse city in America now, but you can't beat it. Stuff's amazing.
I had a friend who described Sichuan flavors as like fireworks in your mouth.
He asked me, would you like to open a sushi bar? And the first week that we opened, it was a big hit.
Our goal when we started Blood Brothers was to have a good time.
Vietnamese food is on the up and up.
Our story will take you to 5 different Asian communities in Houston, exploring their food, culture, and contributions to Texas. Our first stop is in Hillcroft, aka the Little India of Houston, where Raja Sweets has been making delicious and traditional Indian desserts for over 30 years.
Raja means king, so king sweets. We've been running, I believe now, for 34 years. It's the longest running Indian restaurant in Texas. This is where you get authentic Indian food. I feel like we get together and have sweets every chance we get. Every get-together has sweets. Anytime there's a baby born, anytime there's a religious festival, it includes sweets.
And their most popular sweet, gulab jamun, a fried dough ball dipped in sweet syrup.
The first step to making our famous gulab jamun is to prepare the dough. For the dough, we use milk powder, all-purpose flour, and baking soda. After mixing all these dry ingredients together, we add ghee and milk. We mix it, forming a soft dough. And after the dough is ready, we roll them into small balls. One by one, we dip them into the oil to fry, and once they are slightly brown, we take them out and dunk them into our sugar syrup, covering them overnight. The next day, they are ready to be served to our customers.
Food is very important to the Indian culture. Both of my parents came from India. They came to Houston, Texas, and they realized there's no sweet shops. So that was their goal, to establish something here that Houston never had before. And then 1986 is when they opened, April 20th, 1986. My dad was a social butterfly. Between him and a couple other business owners, they're referred to as the founding fathers of Hillcroft. They came here with an idea and want this area to be known as Little India. He became heavily involved in politics just to make sure that our community was represented, right? It was a very proud moment when this whole area was established as the Mahatma Gandhi District for me. When you are an immigrant coming to this country, you're more likely to feel at home if you have a community that you belong to. If you want authentic Indian food or sweets, you're gonna come to Hillcroft.
Our second stop is Mala Sichuan Bistro, owned by Corey Xiong, a proud native of Sichuan, China. With 4 locations across Houston, she aims to share Sichuan cuisine and culture to everyone.
Mala is a combination of spicy and numbness or tingling. I had a friend who described Sichuan flavors as like fireworks in your mouth. The Sichuan peppercorn, and it's an indigenous spice that's from Sichuan region of China, and it is the signature quintessential part of Sichuan cuisine. Sichuan peppercorn contains this chemical compound, and it makes the nerve endings in your mouth and tongue area feel like they're being lightly and repeatedly touched. So therefore, you're getting this constant buzz, sort of electric current sensation. I'm also from Sichuan, and I have a passion in my culture, in my food, so I wanted to share it. My goal was to basically change people's impression of Chinese food. Sichuan cuisine is very versatile. It's very bold, and the flavors are never boring. You get hooked, you get addicted, and you want more. People are passionate about food. Basically, people are love to eat. I wish that Sichuan food will become more mainstream. I want it to become more international, and a cuisine that's practiced by all culture, people from all cultural backgrounds. So I think it's still not mainstream enough. We still got more work to do.
Our third stop is Sushiya, where owner Glenn Gondo grew up in the family restaurant business. Now, he's taking his sushi mainstream to Texas supermarkets.
I have sushi kiosks in H-E-B supermarkets across Texas. I have about 280 locations right now. Sushi's very healthy for you, and it's nutritious and easy to eat. In Japan, the preparation is it's like a piece of art when they serve a plate. It's decorated colorful and tasty. My mother and father opened the first Japanese restaurant in Texas and Houston in 1966. It was like a place to go to for a lot of people bringing guests from out of town to go to the Tokyo Gardens, because they never seen such sitting on the floor, taking off their shoes and using chopsticks. Those Tokyo Gardens? Yeah, Westheimer and 610. And it was a large restaurant. It could seat 300 people. It had tatami rooms. My mother was pretty good at business, and she would invite school kids to come to learn how to use chopsticks and take off their shoes and learn a little culture of Japanese. I met the president of the HEB Houston. He asked me, would you like to open a sushi bar? And the first week that we opened, it was a big hit. We ran out of supplies. It's just my wife and I, we had to drive back and forth from the warehouse to supplement the sushi, because everybody was buying sushi. Now sushi's mainstream. It's everybody knows what wasabi is. I'm doing hot Asian food, like rice bowls, ramen, noodle bowls, fried rice, kushiyaki, that's skewers on beef on skewers and chicken. It became a pretty big hit right now, and they want us to open more this year. And so Asian food is pretty popular. Thank goodness.
Our fourth stop is Xin Chao, where second-generation Vietnamese Americans, Chef Tony Nguyen and Master Chef winner Chef Christine Ha are serving modern Vietnamese cuisine inspired by their childhood.
I think food is one of people's first memories. That's why I love food. Xin Chao means hello or welcome. I think that's just kind of like our literal translation is like, hello world, this is Chef Ha and this is Chef Nguyen.
My intention and my vision is to serve the Houston community modern Vietnamese cuisine. So taking familiar flavors that I grew up with, but doing my own personal unique takes on it.
Probably one of my fondest memories was oyster season. Growing up, my mom and dad would just pick up a sack of oysters and we would just grill them, very similar to the way that we prepare it here with scallion oil, peanuts, and fried shallots.
I grew up eating a lot of Vietnamese food. A lot of my cooking is kind of a tribute to my mom. She died when I was young and she didn't leave any recipes. Her picaw, which is like a braised pork dish, that I actually cooked that in the finale of MasterChef, so that was part of my winning menu. It's a tribute to my mom, was making the pork belly dish that I ate a lot growing up. We do a version of the picaw at Xin Chao where we slow cook the pork so that it's tender. We actually serve it in a Korean hot stone bowl so that the rice crisps up on the bottom, and that's kind of actually honoring my husband's heritage. He's Korean American. And then there's a soft-boiled egg, which traditionally it's a hard-boiled egg, but we like the runny yolk here, so we do it that style. And then with your classic pickled mustard greens.
I grew up eating that like cereal. So instead of like waking up with a bowl of cereal, I'll have like a bowl of tikka with rice, smashed all up, watching cartoons, Pokemon.
Chef Tony, so he and I have very similar backgrounds, and we grew up eating a lot of Vietnamese food, but we also grew up in Texas, so there's a lot of that Texas influence coloring our menu.
The beautiful thing about Houston is we have the Gulf. In the Gulf, we have plenty of seafood. Vietnamese food, they love fresh, live seafood, like the tamarind king crab, which is a cua rang mea, but we use king crab instead of just like regular blue crab. It's kind of like our take on it.
Vietnamese food is on the up and up, and I think we're doing something unique at Xin Chao that takes Vietnamese food and doesn't just serve like the authentic traditional version of a dish, but kind of put our own personal take on it. Just, being like second generation Vietnamese.
Our final stop lies in Alief, the southwest side of Houston. Here, Chinese and Vietnamese American friends, Robin, Terry, and Q, are serving delicious Texas barbecue, incorporating diverse flavors from many cuisines.
We never honestly thought we'd open a restaurant. Our goal when we started Blood Brothers was to have a good time. So it was basically, one time a month thing.
It really was.
Yeah, it was a big party early on. We wanted to show people we could do traditional Texas style barbecue.
When we finally got to the point where the brisket was good, the sausage was good, the ribs were good, we was like, I want to mess around with this idea. We started playing around more and more. We did a gochujang beef belly, burn it. And the barbecue guys around town really liked that dish. And then we became kind of the guys that were doing crazy Asian barbecue.
I think as far as barbecue goes, I think we were probably one of the first ones that were messing with the Asian flavors and with our barbecue.
We're always trying to be creative.
We do a gochujang glazed pork rib. We also do a thịt nướng pork belly burden, which is a Vietnamese style, a lot of lemongrass, a lot of garlic, or the Thai peanut butter and sticky ribs that we do on Friday. That's a real good one. We just use St. Louis style ribs. I make a Thai peanut butter sauce, and then we top it with roasted peanuts and Thai chilies. Our most popular side is probably the brisket fried rice. It's a dish that you're probably not going to find in any other barbecue restaurant.
Blood Brothers was a good name because it described our relationship. Terry and I are brothers. We all grew up in Alief, southwest side of Houston, and we met Cleve in middle school and high school. We used to ride bikes and skate.
We used to take a lot of pride from where we come from in Alief because super diverse.
Growing up in high school, we all went out together to eat all the time, and living that close to Chinatown. Love, all these different Asian cuisines.
So we try to use a lot of what I grew up eating, what I like, and just translate that to the food we cook here. We use traditional cuts of meat that are found in barbecue restaurants and traditional cooking methods, and just apply different flavors that we like to eat to the process.
And that's what we like to do, is to kind of just play with something very recognizable and just tweak it just enough to where
it went over really well too.
Yeah, to where it becomes unique to us, and people love it. We're just trying to have fun. We're not trying to push innovation or anything. We're just having fun back there.
Yeah,
cooking food. So I always say we represent.
I think Blood Brothers, we represent Houston, Alief and Houston. On a broader thing, we just represent friendship.
We're lucky to live in Houston where diversity is everywhere.
What do you think is special about Houston?
Everything.
Yeah, everything. Houston's Houston.